Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, and I'm at a little pullout off Park Road 4 near Inks Lake State Park in Central Texas, USA. And that is a good view of the Texas Hill Country. And that's why I come here sometimes, because it is a pretty view. There's nobody here. It's a nice place. Can you spend the night here? Probably. If you wanted to, you could probably get away with it. But having said that, let's move on now to bigger and better things. What I wanted to touch on in this video is had a viewer leave a comment asking my views on living in a van. But I'll expand on that and answer some other questions too, because what I will do is I'll kind of compare living in a CASITA to a van. They're pretty close to the same size as far as living space on the inside. I would say I know the CASITA has about 80 square feet of living space inside, and a van probably has about 50 or so, depending on what type of van you get. But just a thought, if I were going to do a van build, knowing what I know now about a CASITA, I would use that same layout in the van. In other words, the bed and the rear or whatever, and then in the middle you could have a little sitting area and your cooking area, and then rig up a little porta potty thing somewhere towards the front or something. But anyway, having said that, yeah, the space, little difference in the space. But as far as my views, specifically on people choosing to live in vans, that's totally their choice. I've talked to several people that live in vans, have for years, and probably will continue to do so, because it's like anything else. I mean, you can get used to a sharp stick in your eye if you leave it there long enough. And by that I mean, once you get used to living in a small space, it becomes a natural thing. Like me living in my CASITA, 80 square feet, it's home now and has been home for a year. And prior to that, I was living in a 16-foot Coachman Clipper Cadet, probably a little more square footage, certainly more headroom, but I like the CASITA much better because it's just better built. As far as what you can have in a van, you can have everything. I mean, it depends on how your ingenuity. I mean, whether you are handy with tools or not. Obviously you can watch a lot of van videos and see how other people have done it, and then come up with your own style. But as far as a way of life, it's very popular and it's inexpensive, and of course you're driving your home, so when you park and get set up, just hope you have everything that you're going to need for a day or two or three, or however long you're going to be there. Because once you get kind of get your stuff out, so to speak, you still have to put it away in a van when you move to the next location or go to the grocery store or whatever. With the CASITA, of course, you have a tow vehicle, so once you get set up, you can use your tow vehicle to go get groceries, and that's what I do at my home base, of course. I'm driving my Ram pickup to go get groceries right now, but if I was living in a van, and I looked at that option, I went and drove some vans and thought about how I could fix them up, but I chose not to go that path because I didn't want to have to drive my home everywhere I went, because I would be living in it. It's a little bit different than just going camping. As far as the cost, the upfront cost of getting a van versus a CASITA and a tow vehicle, it all depends on which route you go. If you go for new, then a new van, a new van, probably high box, is going to cost you, by the time you drive it out, $26,000 in that range. That's a new one. You can probably find a used one from anywhere from decent, from 10,000 up. So, you'd have a pretty small investment. Well, relatively small compared to other options, let's say that. And then for the CASITA, the new cost on a CASITA is $20,000 plus or minus. plus a vehicle, depending on what you choose to do there. You could buy a used tow vehicle and get by for less than $30 total. So your overall cost for the CASITA and a used tow vehicle would be, say, $30-ish. And with a van, you're looking at $26 for new and $10 used, in that anywhere in that range. But all these choices, of course, are up to the individual. And I've had people say I'm a minimalist, or whatever that is. Basically, I'm just a guy that likes to live without a lot of stuff. And I've been that way pretty much all my life. I have had big homes, sticks and bricks, and I always felt a little, awkward. I didn't really need all the space, and it was kind of a keep up with the Joneses thing, Vanity Fair, or whatever you want to call it. And since I've been living in RVs for around 25 years, full time, it's a whole world for me. I mean, I love the life. I love the freedom of being able to hook onto my CASITA and go anytime I want to. And it would be the same way for somebody in a van, and probably more so, because you don't hook up. You just start up and go. And I did that. I had a Toyota Prius that I did that in off and on for 5 years, just travel for a month or two at a time. And I have to say, it's addictive. It is. I mean, to this day, I think about getting me a Prius and leaving my CASITA parked somewhere and going camping in my Prius. Like, I could be here at my home base in Central Texas, but if I wanted to go out to Big Bend or down along the coast of Texas, I'd just hop in my Prius and be gone for a few days or a couple of weeks, and I could do that. And then but to get the RV to Capitan, New Mexico would be a real treat, because I have a home base there too. So I'll stick with what I've got. I'll play the hand I've been dealt for right now for the next few years, but I'm always subject to changing things. Believe me, guys, I'm not a stick in the mud that is, you guys jogging right down the road is not very smart, okay? But be that as it may, skip that. But living a simple life, is it a simple life to live in a van or a CASITA or an RV? Not really. It's life. It's just life in a smaller space. Is that a minimalist? I don't know what you can put. We're into this world now where everything's a label. Are you a liberal? Are you a conservative? Are you a this? Are you a that? I'm a me. That's all I am. I'm a ME. And if there's a label that sticks somewhere every now and then so be it. I don't choose to do that. I may change from a minimalist to a maximalist, if there's such a thing. I've looked at getting a tiny home and other things, but of course, that's just normal. Always, a suggestion here is always look at your options. Always be looking at your options, no matter what you're doing. Why? Because a better option may come available, and take advantage of it. Don't just say, well, I'm going to do this and that's it. That's crap. If you get you a van, you build it out, and you live in it for a year, 2, 3, 4, and then you decide to do something else, don't worry about it. Just do it. It's your life. You're the boss. You're the engine. You're the engine of your train. So, pull your cars down the track anywhere you want to, or anyway. But it's a fun life, guys. I thought about it yesterday. I was sitting on the patio having a cold beer at Beer 30, and it occurred to me that life ain't too bad. If I wanted to, I could have hooked onto my RV this morning and gone somewhere else. Am I going to do that? No. I could run my view count up by doing that, but I don't care about. I do care, obviously, but I'm not going to work at doing YouTube videos, because then YouTube owns me, and I don't own the channel. I become a slave to my channel, and I do enjoy doing the videos like this, and whether this will help anybody at all, I doubt it. But it sure is fun to drive down the highway talking like I'm talking to somebody, rather than sitting in my RV and doing nothing. But here's another point that I'll mention. Whether you're in a CASITA, a van, or any other a way of camping, travel trailer, motorhome, whatever, doesn't matter. just remember that the whole outdoors is your home. You know, you've got a 1 trillion square foot home now. You know, when you go camping somewhere, you're inside of your camper, whatever it might be, to sleep, eat, get out of the rain, cold, or whatever. But after that, you can go outside, take walks, and just sit down and check the stars in the sky, or watch for wildlife and do whatever you want to. And in a sticks and bricks home in a neighborhood, you can't do that. I mean, you can sit outside, you can't see the stars for all the light pollution, and any wildlife you're going to see is your neighbors doing something pornographic in their backyard, you know. So, but again, the whole world, man, and for me, with my home base now in Central Texas and one in Capitan, New Mexico, I say that to myself all the time. I do have 84 square feet in the RV, that's true, in the living area. But I also have a concrete pad that is 18 by 26 under a cover, and that's an extension of my home that I can walk out under any time. If it's raining or whatever, I can just get out under the cover and sit in my little rocking chair and do my thing, have a cold beer or whatever. And when I'm at the Capitan, New Mexico, I don't have a cover. I don't think I'll ever get one there. But you know, they have a little rain in the afternoons in Capitan. I'm not gonna get too far on that, but it's got an overall great climate for being outdoors. What else could I say related to living in a van? I find it very attractive, and I see why people want to do that, because it's simple, man. Really simple. I like it. You know, you can put inside of that, you get you a van, a blank van, just a good old hauling van or whatever they call them, and then you put in what you want. You know, you put in your insulation and your ceiling and your window coverings if you have them, you know, a Max Air vent or a fantastic fan or whatever kind of heat you want. Yeah, and it's real personal. I like that about my CASITA. You know, I don't have an oven, and I don't have a microwave oven. And if I had a van, I wouldn't have them either. All I'd have was maybe a 2-burner propane cooktop, or a 1-burner propane cooktop would be quite adequate. I only use 1 burner at a time. Sometimes I use 2 if I'm making popcorn with something else. But as far as an oven, I don't need an oven. I've got one of those little heat diffusers that I can make toast on, even though I do have an electric toaster that I use when I have shore power. But no, it's like a little, I don't know, man. It's like a little nest. You know, you don't have any wasted space. It's all used, and yeah, everything you own is there. You know, you don't have to go looking far for your stuff, because that's it. You know, it is for me now. I've gotten rid of a ton of stuff over the years, and for you guys that are going to go living in vans, you know that there ain't a whole lot of space to put stuff, and that's great. You know, of course, women buy outfits. In other words, they buy a top, a bottom, shoes, purse, everything. You know, is an outfit. Men buy a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and that's their wardrobe for a year. You know, so that's the difference there. I mean, and believe me, whenever you're a camper, and all you campers know this, everybody has too much stuff, even in an RV or a van. There's not anybody that doesn't accumulate stuff. It may not be much, but you'll have too many shirts, or too many socks, or too many shoes, or too many something that you don't use and don't need. And so, you know, it's hard to keep it cleaned out, because, you know, but my rule now, and has been for the past 3 years, is if I order something to put inside my RV, I mean, if it's a cooking item, that's different, but as far as clothing I'm talking about now, if something comes in, something goes out. I don't increase the load. Not that I'm worried about the weight, I just don't have the storage space. But having said that, guys, for you people that want to be van dwellers and livers and all that stuff, I would suggest that you take a hard look at a CASITA, because they are great. They're easy to tow, 2,400 pounds. Very aerodynamic. I pull mine, I get about 16 to 17 miles to the gallon, which is excellent. In a van with all your stuff in it, you probably could get 20 in a van, you know, if you had the right, I don't know, B6 or whatever they come with. So, you know, and that's your biggest expense is fuel. I guarantee you, it won't be the cost of camping. Unless you stay at RV parks, which I hate. I do it every now and then if I find one that's reasonably cost, like a reasonable cost. If I find an RV park that, you know, has a reasonable monthly fee, like in Capitan, New Mexico, Mama Bear RV Park, which is $185 a month, you can't beat that. Elevation 6,450 feet, perfect for the summers. The only reason I'm mentioning this now in this video is because I won't be needing it anymore. They're already pretty well packed. But having said that, guys, we're coming into Marble Falls, Texas. I got to do a little shopping. So with that in mind, thumbs up. Carpe diem, adios. Carpe diem means seize the day. Seize the day in Latin. Carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want anytime, but if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all of my videos. Why? Because I get a small commission, and it does not cost you 1 penny. What else? Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. It'll help you avoid gout, kidney stones, and it'll also help you lose weight because you'll be full of water and you won't want to snack. What else? Take deep breaths. Breathe in really deep. Hold it for a few seconds and then breathe out slowly. Why? Because that relieves stress, and relieving stress does what? Lowers your blood pressure. Is that good for you? You know it is. What else? Stand guard at the door of your mind. Do not let negative Nancy or negative Ned get inside of your head. That is your head, your brain, your consciousness. Don't let people dump their trash in your brain. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and enjoy your life one day at a time or one moment at a time. Adios, amigos. Carry on at ease. Bye-bye.